Hi everyone, this is Killshot 99 Gaming. This is Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. Sherry and Dwight are back. You didn't think we'd be doing a Fear the Walking Dead stream quite so soon. I mean, just a couple days ago, we were talking about how they needed to make these changes. Some people were angry. I hate the show. I'm never watching again. And then bam, Sherry's coming back, and then they got us reeled back in. I think it's a great, great story. Another good interview with Dalton Ross. I'm going to talk about some of the pieces from that interview. This is a 4-part interview, and I got to tell you, of all the sites out there, myself included, comicbook.com, EW.com really nailed this interview. They got more information out of Scott Gimple. They got him to backtrack a little bit. I mean, so many cool things. Let me tell you what we're going to do tonight. So first of all, I initially thought we were going to do 2 streams because we're going to do the Fear the Walking Dead, Sherry and Dwight stream, and then we're going to do some PDL 9:30. We're going to consolidate it all into one stream. So we're going to get through our topics on Fear the Walking Dead, and then we're going to pause, let some people show up, and then if you have a character, an interest that you're going to play tomorrow night, that you're going to roll, we want to get everybody involved in this stream. So let me give a couple shout-outs if you guys don't mind, because I do, I want to do this while I have everybody's attention. We do have the brand new PDL sponsor list updated, and you'll see some new names up there. I personally want to thank you guys. I posted some stuff on our Facebook fan page, but Tyler Bradley, Will the Bill, Ocean Man Ray, you have an anonymous sponsor, so Ocean Man is on the list for getting those PDL packs. Father Ron, pleasure as always, Ron, appreciate your support. Eric Beach, my main man, Eric, thank you so much. Matt Patrick, thanks Matt Pat. Terry Goucher, Jennifer Panfield, Julia Muse, Cherilyn Tuck, Amy Ferrero, Gina Crockett, Crystal Newfield, Kimberly M., Judy Perry, Catface Killer, Deborah Johnson, Beth Burgett, Angel Calores, Mariah Campese, Emmy Bacon, Walking Dead Nerd, Hill Betty Detective, Darkstar 999, Lori Rink, Holly Pierce, and Stefanella. Thank you so much. Appreciate the sponsors, and can't wait to send you guys the PDL pack. They put a lot into the game, and I can't thank you guys enough for everything that you guys do. So let's talk. One more time. Green Team, do me a favor. I got 3 super fans of the month. So can we see Kimberly M's emoji? Can we see Crystal Singer Chick Gore, and also our newest super fan, Captain Crawfish? So if you guys could, Green Team, show me those 3, and let's get into the Dwight and Sherry story. This absolutely made my day. I knew it was out there, and I knew it was a possibility, but I left a comment and on the Facebook page, and I want you guys to kind of zoom in on this. Do you guys see something with Dwight that's a little bit different? And, maybe you caught my comment, but I absolutely see it and see how this is going to go forward. I mean, Dwight looks like he has a little spring in his step. He's looking better. The scar looks like it's healing a little faster. The hair looks good. And let me say this, when this picture popped up, when I see Daryl and Connie, or when I see Daryl and Beth, or when I see Rick and Michonne, or when I see John and June, I got to tell you guys, even Glenn and Maggie, ever since I first saw Dwight and Sherry, they looked like perfect casting to me. They looked like the perfect couple. And, all the stuff that they went through. And even in this picture, this looks like 2 people that if I walk down to the mall, I wouldn't walk, I guess I'd drive. This looks like 2 people that I would see as a couple. So I think their chemistry, now, how it plays out, absolutely Sherry's real. Come on, Julie. They're not putting Sherry up there to give us some fantasy dream sequence. This is a big deal, and with the interviews out there, it's real for a couple reasons. It's more real than RJ, but it's real for a couple reasons. They need it. They needed the story. So, what was one of the biggest problems with Fear last year? Dwight looked a little weak. John looked a little weak. The characters, they watered them down. They weren't fighters. So the big news from these interviews is it's almost like Fear the Walking Dead was so bad, you got to kind of just wash it away and time skip. So I don't know. How many people saw the part 3 of the interview with Dalton Ross? Because I'm going to give you just some of the highlights, some of the overviews of the interview. I'm not going to go line by line. But I just want to kind of get you familiar with what Scott Gimple said. Okay, good. Maybe not everybody had a chance to read it. But part of the interview, at least 3 of the questions in the interview, he asked questions that were along the lines of, he didn't want to say, hey, Fear Season 5 sucked, but he kind of said, hey, Fear Season 5 sucked. And he used words like, there was some criticism around Fear, and he skated around it a little bit. This wasn't Scott. This was the interviewer, Dalton Ross. But he asked the question respectfully, and I've seen all 3 parts of this interview up to this point, and I thought Scott Gimple was pretty forthright for the most part. But in this interview, I'm not going to say he lied. I think he just stretched the truth a little bit. Now, he did say something that was very interesting. Scott Gimple says, well, we were lucky because we're trying to tell this story that's so far out, and we have a little bit of time because our fans see the long-term vision. Partially true. I would have rather him just told me the honest to God's truth right there and said, hey, we tried to do some things last year and it didn't pan out the way we wanted it to. Because he does protect the stance a little bit. So one of the questions was, well, you got all these characters together in 5, the beginning, just to split them all up. And then Scott Gimple's answer was along the lines of, yes, we split them up, but not after they were more close than they had ever been before. Yeah, they were close, but it was boring as hell how close they were. So that's why, and I get it, that's why I said I think a lot of stuff he said was partially true. It was not exciting. They were painting free. Hey, look, hang on. We're going to criticize it a little bit before we jump in there. What was the most frustrating thing for those of you watching Fear the Walking Dead last season? What was the most boring moment? Painting trees was not exciting to me. You painted the trees and you had to find Alicia painting the trees, and then you have Wes and Alicia painting the barn together. Speeches. Oh my God, so many speeches. The video of filming them. And Morgan, so many speeches. So when Scott Gimple says along the lines of, well, we got a fan base that sees the long-term vision, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I said at the end of last season, and I said, look, we'll be back. But I said, this is what they need to do. They need to publicly interview and say, we screwed up, and now we're going to give you something different. Because fans are forgiving. This part of the interview didn't get me super charged. Now, bringing Sherry back, yes. But this is what I heard. I heard, you know what? We're going to bring Sherry back. We're going to skip some time. And you're going to see that because you were patient last season, we were really telling a bigger story. Now, is it going to be better in season 6? Absolutely it's going to be better because the bar has been lowered. Even if it's not great, it's going to be better than last season. The only way you could make Fear the Walking Dead worse than last season is you could, instead of painting, you could have all the characters sitting down in a pottery class and reenact a scene from Ghost. Other than that, it's going to be better. You kill one person, the show's automatically getting better. And we need a little bit of that speed. Now, I'm still not sold that Ginny is the next Alpha, the next Negan. Maybe she is. But I think luckily they gave us just a little bit of Ginny. Because God knows, if Ian and Andrew would have written the full Ginny character last season, even the scene with Ginny at the very end where she shot Morgan, I didn't feel that scene was as ruthless and ferocious as it should have been. Like, they could have really made her dark and twisted. Like Alpha level if they would have wanted to. Like, not even have a tussle. Just shoot Morgan in each leg and then shoot him in the chest and then turn around and moonwalk off the set. Then I'd have been like, wow, I hate her, but yeah, it was pretty badass. Exactly, Wilson. See, that's the thing. And luckily, it wasn't that long of a scene. So what's the real takeaway? And honestly, I mean, the real takeaway that we're going to come back into the season with is going to be Morgan shot, the group is split up, and how did we get here? So I'm going to ask you guys, does anybody here have a burning question for Fear the Walking Dead? Like it's just driving you nuts. I mean, on Walking Dead, we have burning questions. But do any of you have something that you just haven't been able to sleep since the show ended and you can't wait to see how it plays out? See, that's kind of what I was afraid of. I think most are going to say no. Ron, I mean burning question. I don't mean do we have a question. I think we have a question. But Ron, I think that's my follow-up point. Is Morgan going to die? Yeah, I want to know. I mean, I'm curious. But it's not like eating at me, like I can't wait. I got to dig into all the spoiler sites just to find out. But see, that's what I needed. I needed that burning question with Morgan. And you know why we didn't have it? Is because too many speeches. He annoyed us so much. To me, Morgan's best scene, maybe you guys disagree with this, but of all the things that Morgan did last year, the most emotional scene to me was when he left Grace and he looked in the rearview mirror of that truck. See, I hated him for that. I was like, oh, why did you just do that? But I loved it. See, I loved it because it moved me. It was something about that scene that played on you. It was real acting, and it was real hurt, and it was something. And I don't always have to like it, or I don't always have to agree with it to appreciate it. See, that's the type of thing that was good. There was some impact. But, giving up at the ranch after having the wedding, and I mean, of all the things they did last year, and look, I'm not going to get on the tangent again and say June should have died. But as much as I am curious of what's going to happen with Morgan, I'm frustrated that John and June get married, and then he just lets her go the separate way. I'll find you, June. I'll find you. We just got married, but I'm gonna hunt them down. I'm gonna hunt all of you guys down. I'm gonna kill everyone, but I'm not gonna do it now. But I'm gonna find you, June. Come on, man. That is just so bad. It's bad. It was so rushed. You're telling them you're gonna go find them, but you're not willing to do something about it right now. What if she dies in a car wreck on the way there? You're not going to find her. What if she transfers to another state? You're not going to find her. What if they kill you for saying that, John? You're not going to find her. You just married her. So that's why I don't feel the burning sense of wanting to find out what happened with Morgan, because Ginny was not as bad of a villain as she should have been. John and June, that story was all crazy. We got two people that could have died, might have died, got them close to death, but fear couldn't pull the trigger with it. So, look, we know all of that, right? And I talk about all that to set it up for this. That interview would have been amazing with Scott Gimple had he just said, and look, he did say this, and I give him credit for this. This was as close to an admission as possible. He said, you know, there's a lot of criticism out there, but you have to be willing to take risks. That is a great statement. It's a bold statement and is very, very true. But here's the problem with that statement. They didn't take any risk last season. The only risk they took was not taking a risk. I know that's paradoxical, but still, you understand what I'm saying. I would have loved them taking a risk. So he almost did a little Jedi mind trick on us, but I'm too wise for that stuff. So with all of that being said, how do you fix it? How do you take out the garbage? One, you bring back Sherry, and you got to hand Dwight, Morgan, and John their testicles, because they lost them all last season. They couldn't fight. They wouldn't fight. They didn't do anything. They didn't protect. They didn't stand up. They didn't do anything. So that's going to be first and foremost. That's what you need to do. Now, something that I thought worked very well a couple seasons ago, and look, we're split on this. I like the time skip. The time skip with Madison, I thought made an average season a good season, because it had me always looking like, what's in color, what's in black and white, where are they at with it? It intrigued me. It got me sort of thinking a little bit. And I thought the way they played with time worked, because it kept all of us sort of on our toes and confused enough that we didn't criticize Madison's speech. Morgan took the mantle from Madison, and just, if we thought Madison made speeches, Morgan went like Madison times 10. So now, what saves Fear the Walking Dead? Another time skip. And I agree with that. But we still have questions of when the time skip's going to happen. Are we going to have to deal a little bit with Ginny? Or are we going to be beyond Ginny? Or are we going to be coexisting with Ginny? So, I got a feeling, this is just a feeling, that the acceptance of Ginny's rule and Ginny's leadership is going to be implied, because it's so hard to tell that story without showing the characters already in that situation. Would you agree with that statement or disagree with that statement? Instead of showing, the long ride, splitting up the communities. I think we're going to see all of them in different communities, and all of them pretty much have accepted the fact that they have no power. Not like, hey, the very next day they suddenly got their courage and there's going to be an immediate uprising. I think that's where the first time skip really comes into play. That they're sort of going to force that on us and say, all right, 6 months later, this is how bad life has been with Ginny. And then you have the potential to have the group make a plan, to bust out, to partner up. Dwight finds Sherry. John can't take it anymore. Something to get these characters where they're willing to actually take a chance. Exactly, Jim Stone. See, that's what I think. I don't think we can handle the Negan 3.0 on Fear the Walking Dead. But Fear the Walking Dead is now substantially behind The Walking Dead and The World Beyond. So they're going to have to skip it up a little bit. So the question I have for you guys is, how much punishment are we going to have to see them undergo before they step up? And what I really hope it's not, I hope it's not one of those cases like we had last year. Remember how we did a stream last year and we do like episode 5 and it's like, all right, it's okay, but the preview for next week looks really good. And it did. And then you'd get to the next episode and not a whole lot would happen, and we were just hanging on by a thread. So the problem with that is it's the exact opposite. I understand why they did it. Because the complaints that a lot of us had and other people had with Fear the Walking Dead in season 2, season 3, was they told the whole story start to finish in one episode. There wasn't that long-term vision. And then in 4, they did a good job. They had people interested in it again. And then in 5, they told a season-long story. They never finished anything. So we could do a separate stream on, actually, you know what, I'm having a little bit of fun with it. What do you think, I'm going to use the word plot hole. What do you think was the biggest untold story from Fear last year? I can probably think of at least 5. At least 5 stories they tried to tell, and they never finished a single one of them. They had CRM references. Yep. With Althea. How about the Althea tapes? And all the people, the dude that left Florida to go to Washington, the banker guy, and Logan was in there. But all those people that she was filming. We got a taste of all of those tapes, and then you see them go into the vault, and you know about the keys, but that's it. And Samora. I mean, all these people they introduced, and we don't even know what happened to any of them. And then how about the big issue where we start out the episode and we see Logan running after them down the street. And they didn't kill Logan, but they didn't trust Logan. And you're thinking like, wait a minute. Did they find the fuel under the mountain? Logan's still interested in it? I mean, you find out later on Logan's got some tie to Ginny, and that might have been the best moment when Ginny just like straight executed him. There's our shock we needed, but I don't think we got a good story with the West backstory. Like, West potentially could be one of the best characters on the show. And Wilson, more CRM. So this is where I think Gimple's brilliance came out. I know some people are saying, whoa, what'd you say? I absolutely think Scott Gimple is brilliant. And he's right. That this season, they know it's do or die. And this is the wild card they've been holding. They got through a bad season, and CRM is the wild card. And that's the story that I think you'll see. That's the time skip. That's probably Sherry's tie. That's, where they're going to go forward with the show. They got a few more seasons, I think, with Fear. But I feel like it was almost one of those situations of, whew, okay, we got through it. Now we got bigger things to come. Kilma Ames, I would absolutely say brilliant. And I'll tell you why. Because this franchise that he has been involved in, it's a billion-dollar franchise. And it is difficult. I will tell you, it's difficult to create unique content. And, we live in a world where, I critique it. There's things I like better than last season's Fear, but I appreciate the effort and I appreciate the team that he's built or assisted in building. There's a lot of responsibility on that show. And he doesn't have I'm sure he has veto power, but what do? Think about it. You got these two up-and-coming producers, Ian and Andrew, and you think they're doing a pretty good job, and they just lay an egg. And they wrote it so bad that, he didn't have time to cancel it. It's like you got to go in there and you got to film, you got to set up all this production, and then you realize, okay, this story is not quite as good as what we thought. What are we going to do? We can't scrap it this season. You just got to kind of get through it. But I will guarantee you there were bigger people at AMC that had their thumb on Fear the Walking Dead for season 6. Now, that brings us to a little bit of hype time. So with all the bad, what are your thoughts about Sherry, how they will meet up? Where is Sherry right now? Is Sherry connected to Ginny? Is she still out there? Does she recruit Dwight? Is she connected to CRM? Where does Sherry's role come back into the show with Dwight? Could Sherry have had Negan's baby? Absolutely. Stefanella says a connection to Ginny. I have to tell you, I'm more interested in the Sherry story than I am whether Morgan lives or dies. I know I should be more interested in Morgan. But I'm just ready to look for a different story than what happened at the end of last season. Now, that may change. You know, once I kind of get into it and something cool happens, I could totally change that opinion, and then all of a sudden I want to know what's going on with Morgan. There you go. Tammy Dime says Sherry finds Morgan. But I said this last night, and I love the turnout. Also, got a lot of people here. You guys can do me a favor. Hit the like button. But I did bring this up last night, and I didn't see you doing it, but there are a couple of you guys. I know at home you're rolling your eyes. Because I said that I would, if I was out there fighting zombies, walkers, whatever we want to refer to them as, I like this Fear the Walking Dead group. I like John. I like Dwighty boy. I was starting to like Alicia. I didn't like the Alicia, what would my mom do, what would my mom do, what would my mom do. But when she started kind of, doing some things and helping and killing, I kind of liked Alicia for a moment, but Alicia has some potential. I liked me some Grace. Grace got the radioactive suit. So we could go through the characters. How do you guys feel about Daniel? What do you guys think about Daniel and Skidmark? I think there's probably some Daniel support out there. And how about Wes? So I just named like 7, 8, 9, 10 characters that all could be very, very good characters. In fact, if those characters were on The Walking Dead, several of those characters you'd be like, man, love me some Wes. So just imagine if this story starts to really, really turn the corner this year. Then a lot of that negativity that we had from season 5, it'll turn into hype. And Julia, that is a great point. The characters aren't the problem. But we tend to lump the characters into what the characters do, which is why the brilliance of a time skip, introducing a couple new characters, and the potential of crossing over the shows and getting that Walking Dead element or getting that CRM element into Fear the Walking Dead would certainly catapult Fear the Walking Dead into something special this season, in my opinion. And I think because of the criticism, and I think because we dropped the hammer on them hard, I got to tell you, I probably criticized Fear the Walking Dead more than any game or show or person, character, and I still am loyal to it. I still turn on the TV. I still stream and talk about it. I mean, here we are on January 9th talking about Fear the Walking Dead, and it wasn't because I just wanted to start a stream and bash some things. It's just when you start talking about it, it's hard to get rid of that negative connotation. And if we know this, Scott Gimple knows this. I mean, you got to know. I'm pretty sure he called Ian and Andrew in the office, slammed the door, and said, you guys are on the verge of bankrupting Fear the Walking Dead. Take some damn chances. Get me some military people in here. Pay Christina Evangelista as much money as she wants. Get her on the show. Get our characters out there fighting things that people are afraid of. And make people want to tune in every week. Now get out of my office. That's probably the way the conversation went. So, if that's the way the conversation went down, then that means that we're going to have a very short fuse for this season. That means that when we turn on the season premiere, it better not be one of those where there's a good preview from episode number 2 and there's not a whole lot of stuff. So if they time skip it and put us in a different mode and put us in a different situation, then I think that'll be just what the doctor ordered. Get over some of the garbage, get over some of the, Ginny kicking the tires and, Morgan's speeches and all of those things. Let's just get further on and find out that the characters have had some interaction, have done something, and then we can go back and sort of fill in a little bit of the backstory. I'm gonna check out a couple comments here. They eventually merge the shows. I hope that Angela Kang is the main writer to make that happen. Tammy, I don't know. I mean, they're making money. So I don't think that there's incentive yet to merge the shows because I don't think it's to a point where it's dead and it can't be resurrected. So you've got a last-ditch effort, and then you got a last-ditch effort. So the last-ditch effort is to bring something else into your show. And then when they really know there's no hope for it, then you take whichever characters that you want to salvage out of this and you jump them over to the other show. Matt Musgrave, you know how I feel about that. Matt says they need a villain like Alpha. That is a sore topic for me because Simon was that person. Simon was the perfect villain for Fear the Walking Dead. I hate that they wasted Simon. But no, this is kind of my overview of what... I didn't start at season 1. So what I heard about The Walking Dead and what really drew me into The Walking Dead was the horror and the action. That was one of the things. The characters and the villains, that was another thing. And then the relationships. And I look at it like this. The undead and the action are like the bricks. The relationship and the love and, we want to ship this and we want this person to be with this person, that's like the mortar, that keeps the bricks together. If you have a show that has nothing but those relationships, it's a watered down show. It becomes a love story. So you need those from time to time to show that relationships are real. But the fine line they walk is when you focus on it too much, it gets kind of boring. And that's the way I felt the John and June situation was. I thought there was just way too much of that. And then what did they do to compound it? Then they added a Morgan Grace relationship. And what did they do to compound that? They added a Wes and Alicia relationship. Like, for the love of God, man, everything about Fear the Walking Dead last season was about who was going to get together. Which makes my case, when we're hoping that this is what they've mastered on The Walking Dead, this is why Daryl and Connie have no chance. Not long term. So you got to give us a taste of it, and then you got to take it away. And for me, coming in around season 5, that's what I really enjoyed about the show. That's what everybody's saying. So I think that is whatever they're saying in public, behind closed doors, they're getting people together, and they got bulletin board material up there. Look, we're being criticized here, 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 here. This is what people are saying. Oh, and look at The Walking Dead. Rotten Tomatoes says it's the best season ever for The Walking Dead. What are we doing wrong over here? And then you got to start to take a few chances. So with that being said, we are 40 minutes into tonight's stream. We are going to wind it down a little bit early. I'm going to make a couple of announcements. So I have to tell you guys, I think the combination of events, maybe you'll disagree with me later, there is more incentive for each of us to watch Fear the Walking Dead this season. There's more at stake than any other season ever. If you're a Walking Dead fan, this is the time that it's all on the line. Because the writers have to perform. The characters are good characters. The characters have to step up and intrigue us and interest us. The story will start to tell other stories. Dark Star, we didn't say that last year. We said it 2 years ago. We said it at the beginning of season 4, and you know what? They came back fairly strong in season 4. Season 3 was bad, and in season 4, you bring Morgan over, you start to tell John, and then it was like they had our interest again. So we almost let our guard down a little bit in season 5 because I think we thought, wow, look, if they did such a good job in 4 and now they're bringing Dwight over, that's going to be, oh man, there's so many things that is going to happen. And it didn't. So now here we are again, exactly, until Sharpie Lady. So here we are again with everything on the line. But to Gimple's credit, as he said in the interview, Walking Dead fans do have a long-term vision. But we do get pissed off in the short term as well. So my message to Scott Gimple would be, don't take us for granted. We're not stupid. We do have a long-term support of the show, but it doesn't mean that we want to turn on the TV every Sunday and see a jacked up, watered down love story, because the characters and the story needs to move along. And you gotta tell a story that interests people. And I am more confident going into season 6 with all the things going on in The Walking Dead. Look at what this year potentially will bring for us. Number 1, The Walking Dead is going to be amazing in the second half. It is going to be fast. It is going to be up-tempo. We're going to probably kill Alpha, but we're going to see a lot more stuff with the Whisper War and how we're going to leave this season. And we got a brand new show, The World Beyond, that, as we said, is pretty close to the time frame of The Walking Dead. What if we see a hint of a crossover of a character maybe like Negan or another character that could be a big name that could go over to The World Beyond? Brand new story, good support. We're probably not going to get the Rick Grimes movie. I don't want to break that to everybody, but as late as they were starting production, like just until recently, I don't think the movie's going to be done this year. But I think that's okay. Because Fear will come back better than last year. So I think we got 3 solid shows, and we keep our fingers crossed for a good movie. And not to mention, those of you that are fans of the channel, what do we have going on here in addition to? We have a lot of fun with Mashup Mondays. If you guys have not been a part of our trivia, the trivia battles, the intense, the fun, the showdowns, a lot of good stuff with that. And then sometimes we just like to wind it down and mix it up on our channel. We like random things. just when you think that Walking Dead and everything about our channel is about the undead, we mix it up and we do Rhyme Time and we do Kills Connections and we just hang out and have a great social night. But we'll never get too far away from our bold predictions. Bold predictions really put us on the map. We funnel theories down. We get into the psychology of The Walking Dead. And yes, we do have spoilers. And we don't get spoilers out there faster than everybody. We like to hold our spoilers and wait until we get our bold predictions and then compare them to see how we did. And then on Friday nights, we're doing Freestyle Friday. And Freestyle Friday is just people getting together, usually having a couple drinks and being wacky. And we just hang loose. And right after Freestyle Friday is something I am super, super excited about, super proud of. Play Dead Live is a game that we created here, that you guys have supported, that you guys are playing, that we've done 13 different scenarios of playtesting and interaction. And each one of those have been absolutely phenomenal. We've had a blast every single time. And tomorrow night, we're going to go live. Everybody starting out level 0, getting into the game for the first time. Chance to make a little bit of noise, make your decisions, level up your characters. And we're going to extend the stream in a minute. But also on Saturday mornings, don't forget, after I get a little bit of coffee in me on Saturday mornings, there is an occasional coffee with kills, and I like to rant. So usually 11 o'clock Saturday morning, could be a bad news article, could be something. We turn on the microphone and we just get a little bit crazy. But we're going to do something extra on Saturday. This is what I want to talk about Play Dead Live. Is we're going to add a Play Dead Live gear stream. And I'm going to talk about that in 1 second because I'm going to do a little bit of Q&A. And then on Sundays, of course, we're bringing back our Sunday comics in the morning. And then Sunday nights, especially when we're in season, we're going to do our countdowns to Walking Dead and also our reactions. We have a lot of fun with those. So you guys can see we got a ton of stuff going on with our channel, a ton of support, wonderful, wonderful people. So with that being said, Walking Dead fans that do not play Dead Live, that are not going to watch Play Dead Live, they're not going to hang out with us on Friday night, that is the end of the Walking Dead portion of this stream. What I'm going to do now for the next 15 or 20 minutes is, I did this on the Facebook fan page, I'm going to answer questions about Play Dead Live of what I can. I'm not going to give you all the clues and everything that goes down. I'm going to give people who have not yet created a character an opportunity to create a character. And you know what? It takes all of about 10 seconds to create your character. Very easy to do. We can do both. We can roll your character, and then we can answer your questions about the game. And I can tell you a little bit of where you're going to start, how you're going to start, a little bit of the backdrop with that, and some of the challenges that you are going to run into. What's up, Jason Fury? Thank you for being here. And many of you have been here for years, and you know that my passion, when I'm passionate about gaming, I strive to be the best gamer out there. When I got into Walking Dead, I strive to understand it, to analyze it, to talk about it, and create the best group of people to get together and talk about it. And I think we've done that. Play Dead Live takes all of those elements of Dungeons & Dragons, of World of Warcraft, of Magic the Gathering, of Walking Dead, of all of those things, and lumps it together and puts it with this group of people that's such a great social group and makes it a little bit competitive. So, I'm going to transition. Who is here? Thanks, everybody, for Fear the Walking Dead. Sherry, Dwight, back. Now we're transitioning Play Dead Live. Who has not rolled a character that is ready to create your character, to pick your class, to... All inventories are done. I'll explain inventories in a little bit. So if you've not yet created your Play Dead Live character, I don't need a name. I just need to know, hey, I'm here. I'm ready to roll it. And we're going to do Stefanella. All right, Stefanella. I need to know what class you think you would play best. Don't be nervous. I'm going to explain it to you, Steph. The last thing you should be about this game is nervous, because we're going to walk you through any question that you have. Chairlin, roll a character. All right, Steph is going to be a priest. All right, I'm going to show you how easy this is. All right, Steph, all I need you to do is pick a number 1 to 6. I'm going to tell you what these numbers mean in a little bit. Those of you that don't know, stick around. But all we're doing now is just creating your attribute. Steph is picking a 6. All right, let's see what number 6 is. A 2, ATT2. Don't worry. Yes, it is a low number. That's okay. The thing about this game, as opposed to other games, it's going to allow you to catch up. So if you were playing a game like Dungeons & Dragons and you were a warrior and you got a strength of 10, you'd be like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to hit anything. That's not the way our game works. Your ATT number you just rolled is merely what type of gear and what type of weapon you can handle. That's it. Not going to affect how you level up. You're still going to have the same chance to level up. You're still going to use your strategy, your ingenuity, your decision making. So, who's next? Who has not rolled their character? I've got over 50 characters created. I want to get as many of you as we can to get your character created. Doesn't mean you have to show up every Friday night. If you got something going on and you're not there to play, it's all good. Your character will just stay in that stasis type of state. Not involved. All right, Chairlin, I need to know what character class you want to play. You can be a sniper if you want to shoot things from a distance. You can be a warrior if you want to get up in somebody's face and duke it out. If you want to be like a tank and just take a hit for other people and be at the forefront of everything. If you want to be a medic and heal people, you got that option. If you want to be a priest and you want to rely on the divine from time to time with a little bit of your own ingenuity, you can do that. You want to be a ninja, a little bit of stealth, a little bit of deception. Or if you want to be an engineer and you want to MacGyver your way out of situations, you've got that as an option as well. So give me a character class, and then we will get you an attribute. And whoever else is here that has not rolled a character, all right, there. That's what I'm talking about. Sherilyn, welcome to the warrior class. All right, so Sherilyn, pick a number. This is a fresh board. If you want to go with 4, that's up to you. But pick a number from 1 to 6, and we'll see what your ATT starts out at. We got some good warriors. All right, Sherilyn's going with number 2. All right, let's see what number 2. Oh, a 4, not bad. Better than the halfway point. There are a lot of weapons, a lot of good weapons that are ATT 4. So, very nice pull. Okay, who else do we have that has not rolled a character? Speak up, even if you think, hey, I'm probably just going to watch from time to time. Even if you have a character, when we go to play and you're in the stream, you can say, hey, Kills, I'm not playing tonight. I'm just going to hang out and watch. That is a good question, Jim. I don't have it in front of me right now. It's an AT&T 4, ATT 6. I'm not positive. It's high level. But once again, I can pull it up in a little bit. We got a lot of people here, a lot of Walking Dead fans. I know all of you have not rolled characters. We can do some Q&A, but don't be afraid to play the game. Here's the way the game in most cases is going to work. At some point, you might be with a group of people. At you won't start the game with a group of people. But I do know that there are groups that are going to be forming at the first opportunity they get. And there is safety in numbers. But you're going to start in a situation where you don't have access to a lot of people and you don't know a lot of people. So your challenge is going to be as an individual. Now, you can certainly talk offline and start to set up your strategies. But here's the deal. If it doesn't work in the game, it's not going to be allowed to happen. So, for example, let's say I'm a player and Jim Stone, I know Jim Stone in real life, and I'm messaging her and it's like, hey, we're going to group up, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. That's fine, but your characters do not know each other. So until your characters come in contact with each other, you can plan to meet up, but you got to meet up in game. And sometimes that's going to be easy, sometimes it's not going to be easy. If someone cannot roll their character before tomorrow night, then we're going to add their characters, and I'm going to catch them at the end of a stream, and we're just going to roll. But I will allow them to play. But their stats are just going to be generic stats until we can get them to roll a character. So just because you don't have a character by tomorrow doesn't mean that you're excluded forever. If you don't get to play tomorrow, you are going to be a little bit behind some of the other people because other people are going to be getting experience points and they're going to be doing some things. So if you haven't watched the playback on one of the test streams, we did scenarios. We did Quest. We did Storm the Castle. We did King of the Hill. We did Team PvP. There will be some times that you'll fight against other players. If we do a PvP event, you do not gain experience, but there will be items and there will be PvP scores. You want to win. You're not going to get at the end and negotiate. You want to win and you want to get points. But when we're not doing player versus player, it's going to be you versus the environment, versus the world, versus some of the bosses that are out there. And I can tell you, there are some people that you're going to run into that are going to be a challenge. That you are going to need a group of people to help. There's always people bigger, badder, uglier than you. And they're not going to be walking around with their statistics on their chest. So when you go into a battle, like real life, you don't know what the other person has. So one of the questions has come up, what happens when I die? All right. You will get a 1/2 experience point penalty for dying. Now, you might say, oh, that's harsh. But let me also tell you, you're going to get experience points penalties for making really, really bad decisions as well. Now, sometimes you might make a decision that's not a popular decision, but it is a very crafty, clever, creative decision that will gain you experience points. But if you just do things just to be kind of an ass and it's affecting gameplay and it's not funny anymore, that type, you know what I'm talking about. Those will be the type of things that your character will lose experience points for. Example of a bad decision. Well, maybe running into a room full of zombies, not knowing what's in the room. I mean, you may be penalized for that by dying. That's probably going to be one thing. Fighting a boss at level 1, that might be another one. Like, I don't care what you guys are doing. I'm going in by myself. Maybe you die and you already take the hit. Maybe you survive it, but the decision was so bad that you should lose experience points for it. Or maybe you make this risky move that turns out to be a good move. And you can gain a touch of a decent amount of experience points. Opening a bag full of snakes that bite your face. That might be a bad decision. But at the same time, Ron, maybe throwing a snake at something and something works out for you. There's a lot of ways it can work both ways. Experience, in some regards, is subjective, but in a lot of cases, it's not. It's going to be what you do, what you conquer, what you find, how well you play your class. I will tell you from being the campaign manager, and you guys know all these happen live, and I am the campaign manager. I'm kind of the judge on these points. Playing your class and creativity playing your class will get you more experience points and level you up faster. All right, so Beth, are you ready to roll a character? I love it. All right, Beth, I need to know, what class of character would you like to play? And look, I'm going to be here for a little while with you guys, so any questions you have, go ahead and ask, short of, what tomorrow's going to look like. I'm not telling you that. I'm going to tell you you're going to be surprised. The classes you have to choose from are a sniper, it's going to be a long-range attacker, a warrior, which is a hand-to-hand combat, very tough, think Conor McGregor type of duke it out, a tank, which is going to be a person that likes to armor heavily and get up in front of things and take on the damage, a medic, which has the ability to heal, also has the ability to do some silly medical stuff. Priest, engineer, and ninja. All right. Beth is going with the sniper. All right. Pick a number 1 to 6, please. Oh, I'm like on the big TV, Cherilyn. Well, let me give a shout out to Cherilyn Tuck and her boyfriend. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream, and love to have you guys play on Friday night. We have a ton of fun with these scenarios, and you'll see it up on your screen. So think a little bit of role-playing game with me assisting in what your visual journey looks like. Chuck and Cherilyn. So you're going to see various images. And even though you'll see it, the neat thing about Play Dead Live, your mind sort of calibrates. So two people can see the exact same thing on the screen, and it's vividly different to each person. Like, I could see a mountain with a cave entrance, and my mind immediately goes to, hold on, I got to check for traps over that entrance. And someone else may say, oh, there's a small puddle to the left of it. I'm going to go to make sure that's not poisonous. I mean, that's how the game unfolds. All right, we got Beth Burgett. Let's get Beth Burgett rolled up, and then we're going to go to Kim Ames. We got number 5 is a ATT3. Starting out with ATT3. What that means, Beth, is if you find a weapon that is classified as ATT4, you can't use it yet. But when you level up and you go to ATT4, you will be able to use that weapon. So you will be able to use starter weapons. You find a weapon that's ATT1, boom, you got it. Maybe it's a tire iron. Maybe it's a flashlight. Maybe it's a stick. But if you find like this epic sword that catches on fire, you're probably not going to be able to use that right away. All right, we got, who else ready to roll a character? Kim Ames, you ready? So Kim, give me a class, let me know. And let me say this to everybody. Before we get all the characters rolled to get everybody in here. A lot of people pick snipers because they're like, you know what? I like shooting from a long range. Being a sniper and knowing how to play a sniper are two totally different things. And many of you have chosen snipers, and that's fine. I'm not going to criticize you. I know how to play a sniper. I played snipers, I played range, I played hunters, Always. Like my entire life. I know the class. I know the mechanics. Play a class, not just because it's sexy and you think that it's a good class. Play a class that you are passionate about. If you think that you will be a great medic, play a medic. If you think that your ninja skills and you can get into that class and be deceptive and stealthy, play the class that you're going to like. Play the class that you can rally around that you love. Kim Ames picking a 1. Kim, what class are you choosing? Before we roll your number. And warriors absolutely hit hard. Now, if you're a good sniper, you can take a warrior, but not based on damage. The best snipers are the ones that can slow a warrior and get range on a warrior. Because once you get face to face, you're done. You're done. So the whole key to playing a sniper is to get that tack and to get that. All right, Kim is going to be a medic. All right, and we're going to pick number 1? I'm just going to confirm. All right, we're going number 1. All right, everybody, let's get a high number here. All right, number 4, not bad. ATT 4. All right, Kim Ames getting on the board with the medic. Good job. The highest ATT you can get is a 6. Nobody can start out higher than ATT 6. All right, who do we have? Let's get some more characters rolled. Do we got Chuck? Chuck, you're gonna roll? Thought I saw Chuck maybe medic. You know what? If Cherilyn is a warrior and Chuck is a medic, that's a pretty good team there. You got a fighter and a healer. And don't get me wrong, the healers in our game are not just healers. They are healers with the ability to mix it up a little bit. You can be a medic and really be a fighting class. All right. So, am I correct? Was Chuck going with a medic? All right. Medic and number 5. All right, here comes number 5. We need a 6. We need a 6 in the house here. Oh, that is a tough roll for the medic. There'll be some challenging healing spells. But hold tight, Chuck. We don't get a lot of 1s. But there is hope. I don't want Chuck bandaging me. It's gonna be like I'm gonna be like, dude, I got this. Let me sew this up myself. All right. No, in all seriousness, that's the fun of the game. The fun is going to be the challenge. It is going to get interesting. I'm going to explain that in 1 second. All right. We're going to get to a couple more people. You guys are going to, I don't care what your ATT is. You guys are going to have a blast. You're going to have a blast figuring it out. The awkwardness of the character is sometimes as entertaining as what happens. And we got some people that will super chat scenarios. That's how the game can change a little bit as well. Is you might be in a great situation and then you're getting ready to fight and then some player, a real live player, super chats and says, "Oh, well, such and such trips on a rock." And they will, just because they super chat it doesn't mean it happens. But it means that if it is somewhat realistic, I will give them a die roll that it could happen. And that's where it really gets unique. So, you'll see a lot of scenarios that'll just crack you up. All right, let's I'm going to open it up for a couple more dice rolls, and then I'm going to answer just 5 minutes of questions. Chuck, I think the MacGyver, we also have an engineer class. You've already picked medics, so we're going to go with that. However, medics do have the ability to create some concoctions. We'll just keep that in mind. All right. No, Angel, they have to be here. So anyone rolling a character, because I'm going to create a character record sheet for that person. So I need to see them on screen, who they are, all of the above. All right. Kel, give me a 15-second timer. This is going to be my last call for character roles tonight. And then I got to get to some of the questions because, I want to make sure everybody's got a good understanding of where we're going to start tomorrow, how this is going to play out, what you're going to run into. And if you guys have not yet been to our Facebook fan page, here is a copy of the character record sheet, which is on our Facebook fan page. If you guys want to take a picture of the screen right now, you can take a picture of the screen. And I'm going to start with the character record sheet, tell you guys what this means, and then I'm going to answer your questions because some of you guys have high inventories and we're talking about some of the other streams. So first and foremost, pretty basic stuff, right? Top right-hand corner, your character name. Come up with any character name that you want to come up with. Your class and level. Your class, sniper, level 0. Warrior, level 0. Everybody's level 0. So you can be a sniper, a tank, a warrior, a medic, an engineer, a ninja, or a priest. Those are your 7 choices. Your background, just kind of put it in there. If you guys want to add a history to your character. Your player name, you can add your player name as well. Your alignment we'll get to later. All of you guys are neutral alignment right now. Your decision making throughout the game, we'll do a level check and you can let me know what alignment you are. If you decide you want to play an evil character, you can do it. You want to be a holy, lawful character, you can do that. Experience points. Experience points, you start out at 0. Everybody is at 0 experience points. When you get to 1,000, you will go up to level 1. I have an experience points chart listed on our Facebook fan page as well. And you can see that to get to like level 5, you need 16, 20,000, whatever. It's a lot of experience you're going to need to start to level up. Over on the far left, it says base health. Your base health is 5. Everybody at level 0, that box will be 5. That is your base health right at this moment. When you level up, your base health is going to change. I'll explain in a minute. On the far, far left, it says current attribute. So your current attribute, if you have nothing modifying it, is going to be that score that we rolled. So, Chuck, in that shield right there, your current attribute is going to be a 1. In the square down below, your starting attribute score is going to be a 1. And your percentage chance down below that, this is where it's going to get challenging for level 1s, is 10%. I'll explain that in a second. So for most of you that just rolled characters today, whatever your attribute score is, In the shield is going to be that number. In the box is going to be that number. And then the percentage chance will be that number plus a 0. So, Beth Burgett, your current attribute is a 3. Your starting attribute is a 3. And you're a 30% chance. Now, let's say Beth Burgett had a sniper necklace. Let's say she was in one of the pack openings and she had a sniper necklace and she put that on. And that sniper necklace gives you an ATT plus 1. So your starting attribute score in the red square is a 3, but your current attribute is a 4. Which means you can now equip an ATT4 weapon. But your percent chance is still 30%. So your percent chance is always going to be whatever your starting attribute score is. You're stuck with that percentage. But don't worry, there are potions that can increase that percentage chance to give you a chance to raise it. Now, what does the percentage mean? Okay. Cherilyn, you are a warrior attribute 4. So Cherilyn is a current attribute 4, starting attribute 4, 40% chance. So she goes out and fights. And her attribute stays the same, and she finds an ATT4, and she's using that ATT4, and she kills a few things, they down a few bosses, and a week or two later, she finally hits 1,000 experience points. So congratulations, you went from level 0 to level 1. You just leveled up. When you level up, we're going to give you an attribute roll. So now you have a chance to bring your attribute up 1 point. So now you can go from a level 4 to an ATT4 to an ATT5. What percentage chance do you have? 40%. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a 10-sided die up on the board, and you will have a 4 in 10 chance to take your attribute from a 4 to a 5. This is the way you're going to grow your attribute scores throughout the game. So if you don't want a 40% chance, there's ATT10 potions. They'll be scattered throughout the game. Several of you got the ATT10 potions when you did pack openings. So let's say you're a 4 and you have 6 ATT10 potions. I say, all right, we're going to do the level up roll. You say, hold on, Kills. I'm drinking 6 of these potions. Now you have a 100% chance to go from 4 to 5 on your die roll. Everybody following me at this point, because I want you to know how advancing your character is going to advance the gear that you're able to use, your weapons you're able to use. That's how the attributes are going to increase throughout the game. All right, not a ton of questions so far. Okay, now one more thing is going to happen when you level up. So I need all the people who are here to look down at the bottom left-hand corner, the very bottom. You see all that text in red. And do me a favor. Type right now in chat what your character class is. If you're a warrior, you're a sniper, if you're a medic, if you're a ninja, whatever class you're playing, type that in chat right now. Okay. Now, all of you that know your class, when you level up, when you go from level 0 to level 1, this bottom left-hand corner in red, that is your handbook right there. Because that's what you're going to get for leveling up. So Will, who is an engineer, when Will goes from level 0 to level 1, he goes down to that little chart and you see GUL, which is guile. So that means Will now will gain +1 damage and -1 damage taken per level. So Will's going to go up to his damage. You see that little muscle there, the damage? His base damage starts out as a 1. Everybody's base damage starts out as a 1. So when Will was level 0, he's going to have a 1 in that box. Well, now he's going to go down here and he's going to say, wait a minute, Kills. I'm level 1. Now my range damage is going to go up to a 2. So in that base damage, now Will, your base damage is a 2. So let's say you're a warrior. A warrior starts out doing 1 point of damage for their level 0. So Ray, you level up. Let's not worry about your attribute right now. Let's worry about your damage. Attribute is just your equipment. So Ray, your base damage is 1. Everybody right now, if you have this sheet where it says base damage, you can write the number 1. In the bicep is where we're going to add your modified damage. That's going to be after your sword, your gear, all of those other items you have is going to increase your total damage. So Ray's a warrior. He's 1 point of damage. And all of a sudden, he levels up. So Ray, we go down to where it says strength. And now, warriors, when you go to level 1, every warrior here, tell me what your new base damage goes up to from level 0 to level 1. You used to be a 1, and now what is your damage? Not your total damage, your base damage. There it is. 3. Now your base damage at level 1 is a 3. So Tammy Dimes, you get to level 2. Your base damage is a 5. You go to level 3. Your base damage is a 7. Your modified damage is going to be your gear. All right. Your base health is 5. So where are my priests? Who's a priest? I know we got a few priests in the house. So Ron, Julie J, what is your base health? So that top red square up there. What are you starting out at level 0? That's correct. You start out with 5 points of health. So Ron, you go up to level 1. What's your new health at level 1? Your base health, not your total health with your gear. And for those keeping score with us, Faith, down at the very bottom, FTH. At level 1, Ron's base health goes up to 6. But in addition to that, Ron also mitigates 1 point of damage per level. You can see the priest has a dual effect here. He gains a point of health every level, but he mitigates a point of damage every level. Ninja. How many ninjas do we have out there? Hey, Darkstar, what is your class? Medic. The only abbreviation you really need to know, for now, is INT is intelligence. And this is where the players that are confused, the best way to understand it, you have one character and one class. If you were playing all these different classes, dig into it. And yes, for PvP, you're going to want to have an idea. But learn that later on. If you're a sniper, all right, everybody's a sniper. Tell me what FCS stands for. What is your attribute? It's your only attribute. What does it stand for? Snipers, where are you? It's number 1 on the list. FCS, it's in green. It doesn't stand for range, Jason. Focus. No worries. FCS stands for focus. All right. Next class, tanks. You can see it in yellow down in the bottom left. It also gives you the abbreviation. So tanks, tell me what BRN stands for. What does BRN stand for? Tanks get 2 health per level as a base. So every time they level up, they're adding 2 health without any gear. Focus is the only thing you need to worry about. And in fact, Jason, you don't even need to worry about it. It's just what is going to improve as you level up. So tanks, BRN stands for brawn. That is your only attribute. We don't have a whole lot of tanks. Warriors, STR. Stands for strength. Warriors are just building their strength. Medics, intelligence, INT. Engineers, guile, GUL, is for engineers. Ninjas are agility, and priests are faith. That's it. So you can learn all 7 of them if you want to learn all 7. But for now, just learn the one that has to do with your class. Focus is like the ability to concentrate. The one thing that snipers need is focus. They need to concentrate on that target with all the distractions, with all the wind, with everything else going on. That's why it's their category. And your focus will improve every time your level improves. That is correct. So on Friday night, everybody is a level 0. So here's what would happen if a warrior and a medic were to fight at level 0. Whoever got the first hit would win. So if a medic attacked a warrior first, a medic hits a warrior, 1 point of damage. A warrior hits the medic, 1 point of damage. The medic hits back, 1 point of damage. So on and so forth. The health is the same. The damage is the same. So what's going to separate the two? Thank you so much, Robert Bean, brand new member to the channel. Welcome to the green team, Robert. Appreciate you jumping in. Thanks for being a part of what we do. Now, if a level 1 warrior was fighting a level 0 medic, then the warrior's going to win because the warrior has a higher base damage. Now, if a medic and a warrior were fighting, even if the medic had first strike and the warrior was an ATT 6 and was holding an ATT 6 sword, and the medic was an ATT 2 and holding an AT&T 2 weapon, the warrior is probably going to hit the medic one time and kill the medic, because the damage from the ATT-6 sword is more than likely going to be 4 to 6 damage in that range, depending on the weapon. So now you can see how the ATT really scales and allows you to have more stuff. Now, on the flip side, let's say the medic was an ATT-6 and the warrior was an ATT-6, and the warrior had an ATT-6 weapon and the medic had an ATT-6 chest armor and helmet and a dagger. That warrior may hit, and the damage, or at least most of the damage, could be absorbed with the higher gear. That's kind of the point of how the battles are going to play out. But once again, I don't want you guys too far into the weapons and things that are so far ahead of the game. Play the game. Find the stuff before you worry about using the stuff. If you're so worried about an ATT-6 weapon and you don't see one of those for a month, you're wasting your time, and the game's going to pass you by. So, Heart of Nixie, the people that bought packs have potions that gave them a boost to start the game, have weapons they'll be able to use at ATT-6. Some people have glyphs, which are going to add additional damage. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to use those swords on you. Nixie, you might be partnered with someone like Will the Bill, who might have an ATT-6 weapon and may protect you, and you're a part of that class. Or maybe steps in front and kills you. So it's not necessarily a battle. It's not even a battle of player versus player when you go into the asylum. But there will be player versus player battles at various times. Now, if Will goes in and decides to go massacre mode once he gets his gear, it's likely he could kill some undergeared players. But who cares? Because if you die at level 0, you don't really lose anything. Now, the penalty for death is half your experience points. So if I'm a level 0 just starting, and I got no experience points left, and Will comes in and shanks me with a dagger, and I die, it's like, okay, what did you just accomplish? Because I'm back to where I started from. So know your class, know your role. Dying in Play Dead Live, your character does not die, and you do not lose your weapons. So Heart of Nixie, the follow-up question to that is, why did people buy the packs? And why am I confident that people will continue to buy packs? Because you're never going to lose them. When you buy the PDL packs in our live streams and you get that piece of armor, that piece of that weapon, it's yours. People can't steal it from you. You don't roll again when you die, Tammy Hill. Your character's still your character. So that's my overview. And that's another possibility, Nixie. There will be, I can assure you, one thing I can promise you. OU Captain Crawfish is probably sitting down right now writing some of the most off-the-wall, bizarre super chats you'll ever imagine in a live game experience. And you will probably run into some of those things from time to time. I can tell you, the way that dude's mind works, I mean, he was throwing dynamite up in a PvP event. So there will be some competitive super chat. Will's a little bit sneaky from time to time too. But that's a strategy of the game. So you can expect maybe weekly, bi-weekly pack openings. When you guys start leveling up, there's going to be better glyphs. There's going to be better gems. There's going to be better gear. The game is going to continue to advance. But there's also going to be a lot of those items in various locations throughout the Play Dead Live universe. You got to find them. You got to look for them. But there's going to be multiple ways for you to gear your characters. And it is. Your imagination. Jason, I don't know if I could have said that any better. And I'll change that a little bit. It's your imagination in my game, which by default makes it your game. And no two scenarios, no two characters are going to play the same way. It's a story that just continues to get more and more interesting, and there's no limitations to it. We have set the base of the universe, the base scenarios. There are people you're going to encounter that you don't want to encounter. You've got your character record sheets. You got some base gear. And you have the ability to level your character. With that, everybody, I am going to wind this stream down. I have answered all the questions that I am going to answer before we get started. We will do Freestyle Friday tomorrow night. Well, let me tell you a little bit of the schedule. Those watching the playback. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we will not be doing Play Dead Live. We're going to be doing Freestyle Friday. We're going to hang out. We're going to use your Kills coins. We're going to chill. We're going to relax. Some people are going to have a couple drinks. Participate at 9:15 tomorrow. Freestyle Friday will end at 9 o'clock. We'll do a 1-hour Freestyle Friday at 9:15. You will experience the asylum. I will set the stage for you tomorrow to tell you you can't prepare for it. You don't know people. You don't have a group. You don't know what's inside. You can walk yourself through maybe what you think is going to happen. But you're going to have to be quick, on your feet, and a good decision maker. On Saturday, I will do a special evening stream. You may or may not have some of your gear tomorrow. I can't really tell you any more than that. But if you do, your gear will not be modified. We're not going to modify gear in stream. There's items you can use in stream, but we're not going to glyph gear. We're not going to do anything crazy to gear. On Saturday, if you have your gear by Friday night, which you should, unless you're just really, really bad at this, Saturday we will do a special stream. We'll calculate experience points. It's going to be a recap. And then at that point, you can glyph your gear. You can get your inventory of items. You can tell me where you're going to store your stuff. So on, so forth. Your gear is your gear. How much of it you'll be able to use tomorrow, I can't tell you. But by the end of tomorrow, hopefully Saturday, we'll say, hey, I got this ATT4 and I got a golden glyph. I'm going to put that. It's going to be away from gameplay. Does that make sense to everybody? I want you guys to understand that you're not going to be glyphing and doing things that are going to slow the game down. In between streams is when you'll equip, modify, do all of the above. It'll be kind of like a recap. That is incorrect. Ron, no trades on Saturday. If I get into trades on Saturday, it's going to turn a 1-hour recap into a 4-hour gear exchange. And I don't know if you're going to be in a situation that you'll be able to do that. But if you are, you will have the opportunity to do that before. So let's say player 1 and player 2 form a partnership Friday night. And player 1's got some gear that he wants to give to player 2. I'm going to have to manually change that inventory. So it's not a game mechanic problem. For me, it's just a time issue. So what's going to happen is I'm not going to do that on the recap stream, because the recap stream, I really need to get your gear modified, not somebody else's. I'm going to go through player by player and say, hey, Will, this is what experience you gained. You got this, 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 and this. What do you want equipped? And Will's going to say, I want to do this, 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 this. Boom, Will's done. Ron, you got this experience. You picked up this item. What do you want equipped? I want to do this, this, this. Boom, done. We're going to go character to character to character and calculate your stuff. So during the week, if there's one or two players that say, hey, I got these two items and I want to give it to such and such, and we actually met in game, then I'll say, no problem. I'll type a few buttons and I'll switch it out of Will's inventory to Ray's inventory. But if Ray's in Chicago and Will's in Florida, even though they're texting each other in real life, the gear ain't going to transfer. So you're going to have to use some common sense, and you're going to have to help chart some of your gear. But I have complete inventories for all of you. So by Saturday, I should have in the stream, like we have up on the screen right now, I should be able to put Will's full inventory up on the screen and let Will look through it, and he may look at it and say, holy cow, I got 5 red glyphs? Yeah. Let me put red glyph on this, 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 and this. Oh, I got 4 golden glyphs. Then I'll go to Amy, and I'll say, Amy, so you guys have a general idea of what you have? I've got about 700 inventory items all in spreadsheets. This is no joke, man. This is a data. I'm not going to say nightmare. It's a lot of data. But I'm getting better at organizing the data and how I want to communicate it to you guys. So you have what you have, but you have the ability to use it, and it all works in. And Dark Star, I mean, we're going to go with pack openings and other stuff. There's going to be 10,000 pieces of data at some point. I'm not worried about that because it's getting, I actually have a file. I have a physical character record sheet for every character, and I have an electronic version as well. So I know what you have, you know what you have, and that's how it goes. What's up, Eric Beach? Thanks for popping in, man. Dude, we went through 45 minutes of Fear the Walking Dead and about an hour of Play Dead Live. The hype for Play Dead Live is higher than the hype for Fear the Walking Dead right now. But all the pack openings that you guys did, all the gear, it's all accounted for. And I think once you see it on the screen, it's going to be really cool, because it's going to show you like, oh, that's the Black Widow bow I got. Oh, that's the slingshot I got. And you'll see some things that you probably don't remember that you have. But, I mean, if Will has, I don't know the exact number, but here's the thing, and this is why we're doing a separate stream, because I want to be able to explain to you guys what sockets are, what gems are, what glyphs are. So when we put it all up on the screen, Will's going to say, all right, well, let me take this ATT6 weapon and I'm going to put a golden glyph on that. All right, my shoulders, I'm going to put one socket in one shoulder, one socket in the other, and I'm going to put a red gem in each one of those. And we'll be able to calculate his modifiers right there in front of you. You guys will see it happen. And then you'll know kind of through one or two characters what your character is going to look like. So that's the way we're going to do it. All right, everybody, I'm an hour and 45 minutes. These streams getting super, super long. I'm going to let you guys go. Get some rest. We are going to start out in the asylum. There's going to be some disturbing things in there. So I want to just let you guys know in advance. Anytime you're dealing with an asylum, it's intense. So have a great night, and I have a little bit more preparation to do for everybody. I would assume the asylum is going to be a 3-week to a 4-week total campaign. So it's not going to be a one night and you're out of the asylum. So I will see you all tomorrow night at 8 for Freestyle Friday. Have a good night. Peace.